All right, man. Let's talk heavy, man. Seemed like some people. I was listening to the brother Tom Business, and he was saying that going back to the Pacquiao situation and going back Pacquiao Mayweather and some black fighters, it's always frowned upon when black people say they rooting for black fighters. I mean, you don't see that in any other nationality. I mean, even across the Caribbeans, they don't have an issue, and that's because they have somewhat of tradition. Now, I heard a dude say, and I might put it at the end or beginning of this clip. He was saying African Americans don't have any culture. That's a lie. That's a lie. They have culture even before hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Even though a lot of that, all the culture is heavily influenced by what's around them and what's around them in America, right? This is any other country. So black people have culture. I mean, what you call hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Even though some of the degenerate parts of the culture, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you have, the street culture. I mean, who started that? When you talking about gangster rap, trap rap, hip hop, now it's taking over pop. When you talking about people wanting to dress and some of the aesthetics that women try to wear and things that people try to mimic and things that black people wear and they deem it cool and things that they create. We've created a lot here. A lot of our imprint is on a lot of the food that you eat today. Buffalo wings was invented by a black guy. How do we not have culture if we invented buffalo wings? How we not had culture? We had Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? How do you have, so we dress like white people, dress like Irish people, dress like Native Americans, we dress like Arabs, we dress like Indians, we dress like Chinese, we dress like Japanese? No, we dress like us. Now, we don't have tradition. Now, when you start talking about going into like a traditional sense of, eating at the table together, or we have some of these, maybe what he pretty much meant is like cultural structure. I don't know a better way to put it, or traditional structure where you look at a lot of the Hindus and some of the people across India, they believe in arranged marriages. That's what they believe in. Kind of catch what I drift? That's what they believe in. When you go across other people, they have like traditions that they believe. They believe in some arranged marriages. They believe in, polygamy. I was listening to someone in the African, community, and I see why a lot of the women don't like them, especially with the worldwide view that they have on the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting back to the boxing stuff real quick. I'm tied in. Like, they get mad at their men and they like poison, and they have a lot of disdain for their men, right? And I heard somebody say, and I don't know how true it is, somebody can speak on it from the continent, and a lot of the countries in Africa, that the uncle is the one that does the raising of the child, because the father can pick up, and I'm paraphrasing, and start another family and move on. So the uncle will always be his family. So the uncles really are the ones that raises the men in some of the countries. So, just to kind of tie that in, I get what the guy's saying. Like, we don't believe in nothing. We don't believe in we don't believe in a set culture or a set tradition. I would kind of more of a cultural structure or a set tradition. It's all wild. We don't believe in, oh, you go this, you do this, you do that. On an individual house basis, you do have structure like that where you're going to go to college, you're going to be a dentist, you're going to be this, that, and the third. Some houses are like that in the black community. Usually the two-parent households are like that. But, people don't sit down and eat dinner at the table together or do things of that nature no more. So I definitely, see what he's saying. I just don't say we don't have culture. That's the wrong word to use per se. We don't have culture. No, we have culture. I mean, we've created a lot of things, useful things in this society, right? But I think I don't know. Somebody probably have a better word for it in the comment section. But yeah, I mean, he has a point. But I just think he kind of used the wrong, Yeah, like I continue to say, man. I think he was using the wrong word, but blacks galvanizing, it scares a lot of people. Y'all don't see, oh man, they stay on cold when it comes to, Mexican fighters and they Mexican homies. And when they get off code, they check them. I forget the dude, one of the Mexican dudes, he was a podcaster. And I think he spoke up for Kendrick Lamar and was, he said something. I think it was something amongst they would say, well, Kendrick should have had more Mexican representation. He said, it's hip hop, it's they shit. And they condemned him. You know what I'm saying? It scares black people. It scares people for black people to galvanize and get on code. And ain't nothing wrong with rooting for somebody because they black. I don't have an issue for it. Now, where y'all don't understand the difference is rooting and picking. You know what I'm saying? People say, well, you pick Canelo, you ain't on code. I'm supposed to lie? Like, I'm rooting for Bud. And I haven't even made a final pick because I haven't had time to break down the film. But, just me thinking, my history is I favor the bigger guy, whether it was Triple G, whether it was Errol Spence over Michael, Triple G over Kell Brook, whether, it's just, we can go on and on and on again, even, Usyk and Joshua. I was like, man, shit, Joshua too big for him. Oh, did he know Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey? You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't, and obviously Usyk proved him wrong, all right? And, but you should be able to have racial pride, and the thing about it is, how many times we've seen a lot of others, go against the brothers, the Black American brothers or Black American women, and it could be a Filipino like Pacquiao and Mayweather. They all went with Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them went with Canelo Alvarez, and the unfortunate reality of it is that America doesn't see us as American. You know what I'm saying? They don't see black people as American. Black Americans, they look at you as immigrants. The only time they see you as American is when you are pretty much doing something for them and winning something for them, especially, for example, in the Olympics. They will root against everybody else. So Conor McGregor, they will root, for everybody against you. I don't see no shame in you picking somebody you rooting for somebody because of they black. When you talking about picking and stop, and that's why I thought I draw that line there. Picking and rooting is two different things. Because you can be, if you be like, I'm rooting for them, so I'm picking them, cool. But don't try to sound educated. Don't try to talk yourself into why, knowing you don't know. You can't articulate why. You can't tell me. Most people can't even tell you why Crawford will win from their own point of view. They can't tell you how. Most people can't tell you why Canelo wins. It's just the standard. He bigger, he stronger. That's it. Most people can't really break it down and they say a whole bunch of nothing. They saw a whole bunch of nothing. They don't do no homework on these fighters, man. It's different from when you watch a live fight and when you actually break down the film and you break it down and you see things that you necessarily don't see because you can stop and start it. Oh, he did this and he did. But ain't nothing wrong with being a black person and rooting for another black fighter. They try to shame you for that. But a lot of them sit there and they root for Manny Pacquiao over a brother. They root for Conor McGregor over a brother. They rooted for Tyson Fury over a brother. I think you off code rooting against a brother. That's how I feel. I feel like you off code rooting against him. By picking them against him, you betting with you sounding intelligent. You taking your bread. I guarantee you say most people, you put your life on the line, Crawford and Canelo. I think most of the people that's picking Crawford, they life on the line, pistol to the head, they picking Canelo. I bet you. A lot of these niggas just put on the front. I don't play that fake shit. Outside the workplace, I don't play that fake shit. But yeah, time was there's nothing wrong with picking no black fighter, bro, or rooting for a black fighter. No wrong picking, root for him. They root against us because we black, but it's not just because we black. I'm ending it off here. They root against us for the simple fact that we've been dominating, bro. I got to somebody in the comment section. I don't even go back and forth in the comment section. And we were talking and we were having that conversation and we were saying that I was like, really, a Mexican ain't never been the face of boxing? Because you got to think, all the way up to Sugar Ray Leonard, it was all about the heavyweights. It was all about the heavyweights. All the way up to Sugar Ray Leonard, it was all about the heavyweights. You know? So that's what it was about. All about the heavyweights. It just be people who just do the perfect speed to block you off. You know? But it was all about, and then Sugar Ray Leonard, then since then you can make a case for Julio Cesar Chavez. I mean, cool. De La Hoya was a cash cow, but I don't think Chavez was ever the pound for pound face of boxing, especially with that Mildred Taylor controversy holding over his head. When? You know what I'm saying? Just asking. He fought in that same era. Roy Jones, Hagler, you know, I think it was mostly in Hagler, Duran. They still was banging Roy Jones. You know what I'm saying? He was in that era, Mike Tyson era. The Tyson era. Holyfield, you know? So, yeah, but it is what it is, man. We just dominated so long and so much, nigga. Like, damn. What Mexican you can put in your top 5 unless they take in, you know, Roberto Duran. And they don't claim him. They Panama. So, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree, join the Patreon, find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.